Right guys, how are we? Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another reaction video. Today, we meet, officially, the dirtiest player in NFL history. Now, I know his name. Spoiler alert, it's Bill Romanowski. Have I actually watched this particular video before? I don't know. I feel like I might have actually watched it. I've certainly done a reaction on Bill Romanowski before, but I don't know if it was this exact video. I wouldn't be surprised if it is. If it is, well, I'm going to watch it again. If it's not, then, well, we'll see some new shit. Either way, Bill Romanowski, I mean, he looks, you know, unassuming, really. He looks happy. Looks like a nice guy. But, I mean, this is post-career. You know, I'm led to believe that whilst he was on the field, he was the most dirty player in NFL history. In fact, there's one moment, there is one moment that sticks in my mind, and that is him spitting in the face of an opposing player. All of that and more will be revealed, of course. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, please do. Head down into the description box below to check out various ways you can support the channel. And with all that being said, let's get into it. If I can get my mouse to work. Here we go.
This video is brought to you by SeatGeek.
Oh, look.
SeatGeek puts tickets
We all
from
know
all
what
across the
SeatGeek's
web
about,
into...
but... Nah.
Recently, I stumbled onto Reddit and found a thread titled Most Disrespectful and Humiliating Plays in NFL History, and the author of the thread had already listed some examples. Adrian Peterson running over William Gay, this dude getting stiff-armed by Russell Wilson, and Dante Hall with possibly the nastiest juke of all time. These are disrespectful and humiliating, sure, but if you want to talk about acts that are more than just big hits or sick jukes, I'm talking cheap shots, or worse, just complete dark acts of violence.
You can't be doing that.
Slowly make your way to story after story involving Bill Romanowski.
In his book, Romo, My Life on the Edge,
to be honest, guys,
writes
I don't know if I've seen this before. I most probably have. If I have, it's been 3 years ago. But that's a book. That is a book that I wouldn't mind reading. I've got to be honest.
About a playoff game against the Giants, where he found himself buried with running back Dave Meggett.
I'm pissed, and I'm down there just trying to rip that ball out of his hands. And all I could get was a finger. And at that time, I thought it was his, but just whatever it was, I just snapped it. And I could hear a scream at the bottom of the pile.
You broke his...
Don't tell me it was your own player. Fucking hell, bro. You talk about playing with aggression, but that's just playing with absolute pain in his heart. You know what I mean? He's surely there's some pain there. There's some. Geez, I don't know what it is, but that's fucked up.
Finger, and you thought to yourself, good. He's not going to be so effective anymore.
At that time, yes.
Man,
Look at how calm he is talking about these type of things. I mean, that's
cold.
That's cold.
That's awful.
That's awful. Yeah, you're right.
They get to play football in the National Football. They're getting paid millions of dollars. Pay me a stick of bubble gum. Cut off my arm right now. I'm in. Go. I'm in. Count me in. I'm going.
He's just a football player. And a dirty one at that. Jesus Christ. 1988.
Bill Romanowski was fresh out of Boston College after a storied 4-year career, and the 49ers took him in the 3rd round of the 1988 NFL Draft.
What position did he
this
play?
ESPN article titled Cracked Code went into investigating what started turning Romo into the monster he became.
Hang on, what have we got here? Linebacker, Bill Romanowski. Damn.
And he mentioned this story while going through his rookie season. During a game against Oakland, Ethan Horton pushed Romanowski in the back and the young linebacker didn't retaliate. The next day at a film session, future Hall of Fame safety Ronnie Lott shut off the projector,
I gotta be honest, I have seen this video before, but I'm gonna bring it to the channel regardless. We're 2.5 minutes through, it's 10 minutes long. We will continue. During a game against Oakland, Ethan Horton pushed Romanowski in the back, and the young linebacker didn't retaliate. The next day at a film session, future Hall of Fame safety Ronnie Lott shut off the projector, turned off the lights,
turned on the lights, and punked Romanowski for allowing himself to get punked. This is a game about respect, Lott said. If you let someone do that again, I'll come after you myself.
And that's where it all turned. That is where it turned for Bill Romanowski. Thanks to Ronnie Lott. Tell you what. That's where it turned. I've read that story before, but back then I didn't actually understand it. I didn't understand what that meant. But now I do. Now I do. There's one reason, and one reason only, for Bill Romanowski turning into the dirtiest player of all time, and it's because of Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott, the man who got his finger amputated so he could keep playing, when he gives you advice, at least in the world of professional football, you listen. And Romo took this to heart. That team won 2 Super Bowls by his 3rd season, but people started to become aware of how he developed his game. He played with a style that made people hate him. He was the kind of guy who couldn't turn off the intensity.
Look at his face. Look at him. I mean, I hate him already, to be honest. And, oh, shit. And this is in 2005. What's he like now? I wouldn't mind seeing an interview now, actually. At the end of this video, we will try to drum up some sort of current footage of Bill Romanowski.
You broke an unwritten rule, probably an unwritten rule of the entire NFL. You hit Jerry Rice as hard as you possibly could in practice, your own teammate.
That one was an accident. That was one where I was engaged with a blocker. He came around on a reverse. I came off the blocker, stuck my arm out, and boom, nailed Jerry right to the ground.
You ended up getting in a fight with him.
He came after me.
This man did not care who you were. He was going to come after you.
Man, I've got no words.
There was this weird time in Romo's career that would get overlooked if it wasn't for a single incident. He played for the Eagles for 2 seasons, and in the midst of his 2nd year, Romo was ejected from a game for kicking an opponent 5 times in the head.
What?
This was the first major incident that began shaping his legacy. 2 years later, in a preseason game, he shattered the jaw of quarterback Kerry Collins. That cost him a $20,000 fine.
Why? I mean, that's just a normal hit, surely.
Just weeks later, Romanowski would become one of the most hated players in the league after this happened on national television. Monday Night Football.
Here's play before.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is the moment. This is what I remember. When I think of Bill Romanowski, this is the moment I remember. Playing for the Broncos, had an absolute gutsful, and he's like, you know what? You're getting in my face? Well, you don't want to do that anymore. And he does the most disrespectful, disgusting act you will ever see on an NFL football field. He spits in his face.
AJ Stokes, I think, talking to Bill Romanowski. Ooh,
Oh, that's
real lack of social
disgusting.
basis on the part of Romanowski.
This was crossing the line. This was something that even his own teammate Shannon Sharpe did not take too kindly.
I was upset at Romanowski, not because he was white and spit in a black guy's face, because he did.
Well, Shannon Sharpe, honestly, Shannon Sharpe hasn't stopped since. He hasn't stopped talking since. He still talks, and he still looks just as good.
Another man, and I couldn't condone what he did simply because he was my teammate.
He literally sounds the exact same 20 years later.
If my brother's wrong, he's wrong. I'm mad enough to tell him he's wrong, and that's what I did. I was mad enough to tell Bill Romanowski he was wrong.
These two got over their differences and were critical pieces in 2 Super Bowl victories. The show Undisputed has even brought Romo on as a guest a few times. On one of the episodes that Bill was featured on, him and Shannon talked about how they overcame their differences to win a Super Bowl. They came together as a team, and at the end of the day...
Alright, so we've seen that original interview in 2005. This is in 2017. So I'm assuming he's still kicking.
Romo was
and look at the smile. Look at the smile of Shannon Sharpe. He absolutely loves it. He absolutely loves it. He knows exactly what type of player he was playing with. And that's the type of player you actually want on your team. Look, whether he's spitting in a man's face or not, you can't condone that type of behaviour, but that is the type of player that you want on your team, and we can see it. We can see it via that smile.
Teammate. As the old quote goes, you love him when he's on your side, but you hate his guts when you gotta go against him.
Oh, man.
Shannon learned this lesson all too well when Romo moved on to play for Oakland. That's when they had to go head to head.
Now, Sharpe was a tight end. He's about to catch something and get lit up by Bill Romanowski.
And it is Sark who cannot one-hand it. No. Covered by Romanowski. The ball.
He's broken his arm. He's broken his... Oh, no. Oh, no. What's he done? What's he done?
Possession with one hand. Now he's down when his knee goes down. He's down right there with possession. I think this is going to be overturned.
Now look, we've all seen arm bars in the likes of the UFC.
The fact that they had to play this over and over just made it worse. You can clearly see that he hooked Shannon's arm. Luckily he didn't break it, but it still dislocated his elbow.
Oh,
From
bruh.
1995 to 2002, the list of fines and altercations that Romo had been a part of
79,500. I mean, that's a drop in the ocean, you could say, as far as what he most likely earned throughout his entire career. Kicked Larry Centers in the head 5 times, no less. Broke Kerry Collins' jaw. Spit on JJ Stokes, where we saw that. Punched Tony Gonzalez in the head. Illegal hit on Trent Differ. Illegal hit on Fred Taylor. Illegal hit on Trent Dilfer. Illegal hit on Fred Taylor. A late hit on Roland Williams. And he ripped the helmet off of Eddie George. The worst of which was certainly the spit in 1997. Have a look at him. Have a look at the count. Honestly, you just want to clock him. You just want to knock him out, honestly. But you can't, because this is football, and they've got helmets on.
staggering. So here's another interview from a few years back that's from Colin Cowherd's show, and this is what I found incredibly weird. Romo starts to explain this concept.
You know, tell the guys he's a something a-hole, and
an hour later you're having a beer.
An hour later you're having a beer and you kind of move on. You know, and that's the one thing about the locker room that's really special is to be able to do that. Some guys hang on onto it, some do. But
for sure. You know, to be honest, if someone like, even if you're, you know, in my team, if you disrespect me that badly on the field, I honestly feel like I'd be the type of guy that would hold on to it until he helps me win a Super Bowl. And then, you know, all bets are off.
Me, I didn't hang on to it because I was usually the one dishing it out. And,
Right.
and I would feel badly about it. And then I had no problem apologizing.
He at least sounds self-conscious enough to understand what he's done, so he seems to sound normal. But that quickly goes away with the next thing he says.
I remember when I threw a microwave oven at Dexter Carter, you know, and then jacked him up against a Coke machine. And, you know, I ripped off his gold chain.
And the reason that he threw the microwave?
We had an old microwave that literally took like 2 minutes to heat a sandwich.
Yeah.
But if you put another one in there, it took like 20. And he tried to add his sandwich to mine. How dare he do that?
Dexter, what are you doing?
This guy's an absolute madman. He's an absolute madman. The final act,
This last incident is
2003.
truly the cherry on top of this man's career. You would think a lot of his problems came from roid rage. In fact, he didn't start taking steroids until 2001. His first 13 years in the league, that was
Man, he's
all
looking
him.
jacked, I must
Now
admit.
imagine how crazy he was, plus the roid rage. This is the result of that. During training camp in 2003, a fight between Marcus Williams and Bill Romanowski.
I would have absolutely loved to see John Gruden and Bill Romanowski go at it. But unfortunately, we're not going to see that. It's between two players.
Sent shockwaves throughout the league. Here's what happened. Williams blocked Romanowski. Romanowski grabbed Williams by the neck of his jersey. Williams disengaged, and then he raised his arms as if to say, it's over. But it wasn't. Romanowski stepped towards Williams and grabbed his face mask. Williams grabbed back before quickly letting go. But Romanowski continued pushing on Williams' helmet, so violently that his head jerked back. As Williams' helmet flew off and his head recoiled forward, Romanowski's right fist smashed into his face. The 6'4", 250-pound Williams fell onto the ground unconscious. His left eye socket shattered, a tooth chipped. He came to within seconds, felt blood on his cheek, and saw Romanowski standing over him, shouting, "Don't ever effing hold me." This was Williams' face after the incident. That punch resulted in a broken eye socket, concussion, double vision.
I gotta be honest, guys. I don't know about you, but I was literally on the edge of my seat listening to that story. That is, look, I don't even know if I've got any words for it, but what I will say is that, you know, if Bill Romanowski tried to ever talk to me again, I'd tell him to get fucked. I really would. That is not, that, look, this ain't heavyweight boxing, mate. This is friendly fire.
Depression and memory issues. This also ended his career,
no.
and he eventually sued Romanowski for
He sued Romanowski for
battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Ultimately, in the end, he won the case. Call him crazy, a psycho, or if you're old school, a hard-nosed football player. Whatever you want to call him. At the end of the day, Bill Romanowski is one of the last people you'd ever want to run into when he's pissed off.
Oh no, what are we going to see here? What are we going to see here? Romanowski playing for Oakland, but he's a linebacker.
McNair fakes to...
No, sorry, I actually thought the snap was on the other side of the field. Alright, so Tennessee, the quarterback is dropping back. I'm not sure who he's going to throw it to, but whoever he does throw it to is going to get absolutely cleaned up. Let's have a look.
Romanowski on the blitz, and he just about killed Holcomb. Holy cow, he just ran right over him.
Look at Big Bill. Oh, yeah.
No, I missed it. Romanowski is
Off.
right here, I'm assuming.
McNair fakes to draw. Romanowski.
Oh, no, he wasn't. I've certainly got to know,
you'd ever want
you
to
know,
run into when he's pissed
at the very
off.
least, I need to know exactly where he is. He's right here. Sorry, disregard everything I've said about this play, and let's watch this man right here.
McNair fakes to draw.
Romanowski. You poor bastard. A running back. You know, paid to run the ball. Unfortunately, an important part of the job is blocking for your quarterback. And look, if you're gonna come up against Bill Romanowski,
On the
it's not gonna be nice for you.
And he just about killed Holcomb. Holy cow, he just ran right over him.
Look at Big Bill. Oh, yeah, that's me. I hit him.
Imagine Romanowski with the ball in hand. Imagine that. I don't want to imagine it. Either way, guys, that brings us to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like I have reacted to that video before, but I am 3 years on. Hopefully I've brought something new to the video, new to the reaction, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If not, well, let me know down in the comment section below. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one.